time. In the heart of Igbo, there was a small and picturesque village named Ugochukwu. Despite its beauty, the village had its share of misfortune, and among its most unfortunate inhabitants was a man named Ugochukwu. His life was marked by relentless poverty and solitude. His home was a dilapidated mud hut on the outskirts of the village, infested with cockroaches, rats, and insects. The sight of the grumbling abode was a stark contrast to the more prosperous homes within the village. He was so poor that even the poorest in the village called him poor. Ugochukwu was so impoverished that even the poorest villagers avoided him. His clothes were ragged, his face was lined with hardship, and his health was frail. He would go door to door in the village, seeking any form of manual labor. He offered to work in the fields, repair thatched roofs, and perform any odd job that might bring in a new few coins to him. But his requests were always met with rejection. The villagers, steeped in their own superstitions, believed that his misfortune was a curse and were wary of associating with him. This deep-seated prejudice left Ugochukwu isolated and desolate. Despite his suffering, Ugochukwu maintained a quiet dignity. He never lost hope that one day things might improve. He would often sit in his run-down home, dreaming of a better life, though such dreams seemed perpetually out of reach. His only solace came from his deep connection to the land and the solace of his own perseverance. Among the villagers was a young woman named Nenna. She was known for her beauty, but she too was poor, struggling to make ends meet. Despite her own hardship, Nenna was renowned for her kindness and empathy. When she first saw Ugochukwu, she was struck by his plight and the disdain with which others treated him. It troubled her deeply that someone so deserving of compassion was met with such harshness. One day, as Nenna walked through the village, she saw Ugochukwu sitting despondently outside his hut. His appearance and the condition of his home were heart-wrenching. Overcome by empathy, she decided to visit him. With her modest resources, she brought food and offered him with little she had. Ugochukwu was initially surprised by her kindness, but he accepted her offering with gratitude. As weeks went by, Nenna continued to visit Ugochukwu regularly. She brought food and stayed with him. Despite the unsanitary conditions of his home, she would walk and talk to him, share stories, and bring a glimmer of warmth into his dreary existence. Their friendship deepened, and they found solace in each other's company. For Ugochukwu, Nenna's visits were a beacon of hope and comfort amidst his relentless struggles. However, their growing friendship was met with increasing scorn from the other villagers. They whispered among themselves, believing that Nenna must be cursed for associating with someone so destitute. The gossip and judgment only intensified as Nenna's commitment to Ugochukwu became more apparent. Despite the derision, Nenna remained steadfast, her heart unmoved by the villagers' opinion. One fateful day, Nenna arrived at Ugochukwu's hut with a basket of food, only to find that he was missing. She searched the surrounding area, calling out for him, but there was no sign of Ugochukwu. The villagers, when questioned, claimed they had seen him leave for the bush and he had not returned. Nenna's heart sank with worry and despair. She could not understand why he would leave without a word. Days turned into weeks, and the mystery of Ugochukwu's disappearance consumed Nenna's thought. She sat outside her mother's home, deeply troubled, feeling a profound sense of loss. One afternoon, While she was lost in her thoughts, a group of men appeared and ambushed her. They blindfolded her and led her to a waiting vehicle. Nenna's fear was palpable, but her curiosity and anxiety grew as the car journeyed farther away from her village. When the vehicle finally stopped and the blindfold was removed, Nenna found herself standing before an imposing mansion, unlike anything she had ever seen. The grandeur of the house and its intricate designs and opulent decorations left her in awe. As she tried to make sense of the situation, Ugochukwu appeared, dressed in fine, elegant clothes. He was no longer the impoverished man she had known, but rather a figure of wealth and sophistication. Ugochukwu approached Nenna with a reassuring smile, understanding her astonishment and fear. He explained that he was indeed the son of a wealthy and influential family, but he had chosen to live in poverty to find someone who would love him for himself rather than his wealth. His family had been eager for him to assume his rightful place among the elites, but he wanted to assure that any love he received was genuine and not influenced by his fortune. The wealth and grandeur surrounding him were not mere symbols of pride, but a testament to his search for a true affection. Ugochukwu has deliberately lived as a pauper to test the sincerity of those around him. Nenna's unwavering kindness and compassion had set her apart, and it was her genuine love that had warmed his heart. Overwhelmed by the revelation and deeply moved by Ugochukwu's word, Nenna accepted his proposal. Though she was heartbroken over the trials they had endured and shocked by the dramatic turn of events, she saw the sincerity in Ugochukwu's eyes and agreed to marry him. The couple returned to Umuokwe, where the villagers were stunned by the transformation. The once despised man, now a symbol of wealth and success, was met with gasps of disbelief. When Ugochukwu introduced himself and Nenna as his wife, the villagers were filled with regret and remorse for their previous actions. They had wronged both Ugochukwu and Nenna, judging them harshly and failing to recognize their worth. In the wake of this revelation, the villagers approached Ugochukwu and Nenna with heartfelt apologies. They expressed their sorrow for their past behavior and sought forgiveness. Ugochukwu embodied the spirit of true generosity. Forgive them and choose to use his wealth to improve the village. He invested in building better homes, providing educational opportunities, and supporting the community in various ways. Ugochukwu and Nenna lived happily in the city in their mansion. Nenna has never experienced anything as joy and happiness as she has when she married Ugochukwu. She lived in a big mansion and she never lacked anything. She enjoyed the wealth of her husband. Nenna and Ugochukwu's story became a legend in the land, a testament to the power of kindness, love, and the danger of superficial judgment. Generations reminding people of the importance of empathy, compassion, and looking beyond appearance to recognize the true essence of a person. What do you learn from this story? Please drop your comments, share, subscribe, and don't forget to like. Thank you very much as we bring to you another story.